Oh, it is time for Pete Prisco's Power Rankings presented by FanDuel. What are you laughing at, Pete?
Don't worry about it.
No, he's evil over here. Being really evil.
That's Pete Prisco. That's Kyle Long, Amanda Guerra. I'm Chris Hassel. And Pete had a big change at the top. You had the Lions up there.
Is it a big change?
Big tumble.
Huge.
I mean, the
okay,
Lions
it's a big
from 1 to
tumble.
4.
The Chiefs going up from wherever they were, 2 to 1.
He didn't think they tumbled far enough.
It was as big a fall as Mufasa off the cliff. It's just falling off.
Watch out, you're gonna
Go get
go
it.
Are you going to take your kids to see that movie?
It's a sad movie, but I don't think they understand the sad parts yet. You know?
Really?
Yeah, they just like the animals.
Okay. Well, I guess it was a sad day for the Lions. Chiefs, as Chris mentioned, back on top after the Lions lost to the Bills. Pete, now concerned about Detroit's defense, dropped them from 1 to 4. But Pete, his biggest focus this week, the Bucs, up 2 spots to number 12, saying their come-from-behind victory with the Chargers. Now he's even more impressed, and this is the team that nobody wants to play in the postseason. However, we are going to start with the Chiefs here beating the Browns. Biggest thing, however, to come out of this game is Patrick Mahomes. He is now officially, according to the team, dealing with a mild high ankle sprain. Final games, Texans, Steelers, Broncos, last 2 on the road. How concerned are you right now for the Chiefs? Maybe just for the top seed, if you will.
For the top seed, no, because here's what I would do. I would sit them this week. You can win that game at home against the Texans without them. And then if you need to play them one of the last 2, you play them. If not, then you don't. Everything they do, everything, and that's why everybody talks about their close games, is about the postseason. It was the same last year. They weren't very good last year. They went into the playoffs, and they went through and won as a wild card team, or as a team on the road, and they got to the Super Bowl and won it. I'm not concerned about them at all. As long as he's on the field in the postseason, healthy, the
But
Chiefs.
don't those things linger?
Let me tell you what, dude. This guy hasn't been healthy for any postseason, and he's been there and done that a number of times. Patrick Mahomes is one of the toughest competitors you'll ever be around. They've got one of the best athletic training staffs. Rick Burkholder, the head trainer there, and all of his staff do an incredible job. Patrick Mahomes has never been healthy in the playoffs, but he just finds a way to win. That's why I'm not concerned about this Patrick Mahomes.
You know what I don't like is when a guy gets hurt like that, and we have all these people out there calling him the drama king and all this stuff.
I saw things saying, oh, Patrick Mahomes' ankle injury right on time.
Look, the guy toughs through so, like you said. Remember when he played against Jacksonville in the playoffs? That thing was nearly dangling, and he went in and played. Give me a break. He's a tough guy. He'll play when he needs to play.
If you don't think he wants to play against the Texans, you're wrong. They're going to have to, you know, put him in the kennel like my dog that wants to go run around and play all day. I'm like, you got to take a break. Your legs are tired, man. Okay, Patrick, we got to get you right. But I could also see them going with Wentz, coming with Patrick at the end if they need it. Can you imagine the roar that would happen?
The closer?
If Patrick comes in like Mariano Rivera in the 4th quarter?
I don't think you, and we'll pick the games a bit, but I don't think you'll need him. By the way, your dog, you keep him in a kennel?
Well, he's a German Shepherd. He has hip issues at times, and he likes to play. You got to help him out sometimes.
Okay.
Take a nap,
keep
bud.
his cats in a kennel.
Hell no.
A cat guy, huh?
Pete's cats run free. All over him, all over his camera.
I could claw you.
By the way, the Chiefs, all they need to do, win 2 of the last 3, they're guaranteed the #1 spot in the AFC. They would have to lose multiple games for somebody else like the Bills to have a chance to claim that spot. Let's jump down in the AFC playoff race to the last 2 teams that are in it right now, but in a really good spot, and they play each other this week. Pete, it's the Broncos and the Chargers, 6 and 7 in the AFC. You have the Broncos 9 in your power rankings, the Chargers at 13.
Yeah, and again, the last couple of weeks, the Chargers have concerned me a little bit. I didn't see that one coming. Their defense was terrible the other day against the Bucs, and Justin Herbert didn't play well. So there's concern, but I flip it over. If Jonathan Taylor doesn't drop the ball, scoring a touchdown, they go up 20-7, and I don't think the Broncos win that game either. So there are concerns with both these teams. This one is one of those games where it will decide. Obviously, if the Chargers lose this game, they're in trouble. They have trouble. Somebody can maybe come get them.
The Broncos can clinch if they do win.
Yeah, and look, Sean Payton's done an amazing job with this team.
Sean Payton's done a really good job. Bo Nix has been really good all year, but we saw it this past week.
Last couple weeks.
He's a rookie still.
Yeah.
He's a rookie still. So in this matchup, obviously, there's a lot to look at in the quarterback department.
Pete, you started off your entire article. Look, you always have to start with something, though, right? Like, you got to write something.
Got to write something.
And you went with the Bucs, though, because they were very impressive this past weekend. And you said after this past weekend, I actually have more faith in them than I did did a little while ago. The good thing for them, they are now on top of that division. They are now ahead of the Falcons because the Falcons had the tiebreaker. When you look at the last couple games, Falcons have Giants, Commanders, Panthers, Bucs, Cowboys, Panthers, Saints. How all in are you right now on this Bucs team for the rest of the season and heading into the postseason?
All in, and they might make a run in the postseason to get to the championship game and maybe even beyond. I love this team.
And they're healthy.
And that's they're getting healthier.
You think they could make the Super Bowl?
I absolutely think they can. I think that, look, you know who beat the Lions early in the year? The Bucs did when they were healthy. You know who beat the Eagles? The Bucs did.
Talk about it.
Yeah, and they are finally getting guys back. You know, once they get Winfield and Whitehead back on the back end, that solidifies the secondary. They haven't had the secondary together all year, and that group is good when they're together. But the biggest change for that defense is getting Kalijah Cansey going. Up front, he missed the early part of the season. He's back. Now you have he can push the pocket. Vita Vea can push the pocket. Yaya Diaby can get off the edge. They can attack the quarterback. They have a veteran in Levante David. I love the defense. And offensively, they can run it. And you know Baker can throw it. And he has that chip on his shoulder. I love the makeup of this team. It's a great mix of young and old.
And you know what? When you talk about this Bucs team, their ability to score, Liam Cohen's ability to draw up some of the most creative stuff I've seen all season, and the health of that defense, particularly on the back end, allows a guy like Todd Bowles to add some of that pressure with faith in the back end. You can get extra guys in on the rush, and when you're playing against the Bucs, you're probably going to be playing a really tight game or from behind, so you're going to be throwing the football. This plays well into what the Bucs are looking to do.
Pete, I'm curious. We were at the Super Bowl in Vegas last year, and Baker Mayfield was on our set. You pulled him aside. You talked to him for a little bit. I think he was going into contract stuff at that time, but what was your Baker Mayfield pep talk when you talked to him in February?
Don't take the hometown discount. Get as much as you possibly can, and he did. He got a good contract from the Bucs. And look, we didn't even mention Mike Evans. Yeah. I mean, I'm going to do this for Jack. Mike Evans is on his way to the Hall of Fame. See, Jack, I can say it. He's going to be our producer, Jack. He's going to be a Hall of Famer. And he's playing at such a high level right now. And they got Jalen McMillan going. This team, you agreed with me today. You think they can make a run in the postseason as well?
Yeah, I mean, when you look at their path to get this thing done in the NFC, they're going to have to, potentially go to Philadelphia to play the Eagles.
Yeah, they beat them already.
Been there, done that, not worried about it. Baker Mayfield, he can handle any moment. There's no moment too big for him.
Jack also wants Levante David in the Hall of Fame as well. He's not satisfied with just Mike Evans.
I love Levante David. He was by the way, he's the patron saint of the Better Than team. He was the first captain of the Better Than team back in the day.
Hey, you've been all over the Bucs going back all the way to the summer when you guys went to camp and said that this is the team to beat in that division. Let's go to the NFC West. The Seahawks had a lead there, but not anymore. Geno Smith injured, and you've dropped them 5 spots, your biggest faller, down to 15.
And they're in jeopardy of not making the postseason. You look at their schedule, coupled with the fact that Geno Smith is hurt, and their offensive line got whipped the other day. I mean, they physically mauled both sides of the ball by a Packers team that doesn't usually have that reputation. That concerns me. And you look at their schedule. Minnesota at Chicago. It's Thursday night game, tough turnaround. And then you got the Rams on the road, final week of the season.
And the Rams are hot right
If
now.
Geno doesn't play this week, they have big problems against the Vikings. I don't think this team is going to make the playoffs.
Yeah, I think unfortunately that injury to Geno Smith is what's going to be the bow on the box there for the Seattle Seahawks. I mean, I just don't see it happening. We were looking forward to this final week of the regular season matchup with the Rams and the Seahawks, which would have been a de facto NFC championship. Right now, it looks like just a consolation game at this point.
The Rams started 1-4, had to climb out of a hole. They have now won 7 of their last 9. We got to talk about the Cowboys. As you guys know, I went to the Eagles.
Why do we have to talk about the Cowboys?
Because that's what Jack said.
Okay.
And apparently Cowboys fans want this because you still have a chance, less than 1%. They beat up on the Panthers, which I guess is saying something.
Well, they were dogs in this game.
That's true.
Whatever, man.
They were the first time Panthers were dogs or favorites in 2 years.
They were your biggest riser. They're now up to number 22.
And think about how they lost that Bengals game. I mean, the botched, block, punt, touch it, let him recover it.
You won't let that go because you picked the Cowboys in that game.
It's such a mental mistake, and it should never have been. It should never have happened. If they win that game, then they're 7-7, smack dab in the middle of the thing.
But they didn't.
And they didn't. But they're playing better football. And the quarterback was better last week. They got some health back on the defensive side. Parsons played well the other day. Look, are they a good team? No, but they're better than what they've been.
Oh, a little consolation prize.
Cooper Rush has played, he's done a good job in the stead of Dak Prescott. You know, when you think about the Dallas Cowboys and what they have to offer, particularly with this roster, it's been Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb. But Cooper Rush has done just enough to keep them competitive in ball games. And to your point, when you're in a situation like that, you cannot afford to have those gaffes, especially with the season on the line.
They're 3 games back with 3 to play.
Yeah, they're not going to make the postseason. But it's interesting that they might be saving Mike McCarthy's job, is what they
You
might
think
be
so?
saving. I do. I think
Going to run it back next year?
I think he's coming back.
Same old, same old.
Same
Yeah,
old, same
so
old.
nothing's.
That the problem
Not that
is,
it's Mike McCarthy's fault, but
no, the
nothing's going to change.
general manager is the problem.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the problem. The roster isn't
Can you
great.
make a change there?
But you know what? When you look at it on the surface going into
Gone.
next year, 2 rookie
Would have
starting
to.
offensive linemen, they'll be a year better. This team has a chance next year to be a much better and a playoff team.
You said that last year.
Yeah, but they
you
had
said that
so
going
many
into,
injuries.
Didn't
They
you have
lost
the
their
Cowboys going to the
quarter.
Super Bowl?
They
Cowboys
lost-
fans
no.
say that every year.
No, it was Danny.
Danny Cannell did.
No, that wasn't me. Don't ever put anything Danny says
Sorry,
on
it was
me.
Packers
Yeah.
in that instance.
Full power rankings at CBSSports.com. I hear it was an explosive pushing the pile today.
It was great.
There was some emotion. Let's put that. There was some.
We talked about the Bears. We got emotional. Things happen.
No, there's no we. You.
Well, a lot of stuff to cover.
I feel like
Check it
someone's
out.
still picking up Tom Fornelli off the carpet right now after that Bears game.
Yeah.